evening, sports fans, and welcome to the All Balls Sports Show. Brought to you in part by True Love's Pizza and Grits at 1144 Riverside Drive. A discussion of any and all sports, local, regional, and national. And now, here are your hosts, Dan James, Eddie Bobo, Ty Cobb, and the coach, Vance Ballou.
Thank you, Bill Jones, and a very pleasant good evening. Thought I'd start us off with a little bit of Christmas music for the holiday spirit that we need to have. And thanks to Ty Cobb last night, my partner in crime, for doing the Columbia Christmas Parade, beginning to look a lot like Christmas around Columbia and Murray County. And Ty, thank you very much for last night. That was a fun time.
I always look forward to doing the parade with you, and it's one of many things we've done together in broadcasting and radio, or however you want to say it. But last night was a well-attended Christmas parade. It was a success and had over 91 entries, and I think
James
people were
Media,
pleased with it.
For the first time, went live last night.
And we had people, Eddie, watching from Florida to
We did.
California to upstate New York,
Yeah.
and they were letting us know that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think
because
it had
could-
up to 1,000 views at one time, and I mean it's
because the way that Ross had it set up, we could
Scrolling.
get comments back during the parade.
Right.
And he was getting comments back from Florida Georgia Line and
Yeah.
not the country band, yeah, not the group, but from that area down there that said, "I'm so glad you guys put that on the air
When
because
you said the Florida Georgia line and all that, you know, Florida's one of them strange states.
yeah,
The more north you go, the more south it gets.
that's true." That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And then the more south you go, the more north it gets.
Right.
Exactly. For all those snowbirds that are down there.
Right.
But we had a good time last night, so we officially welcomed into the Christmas holidays the city of Columbia last night.
downtown is thriving, and you can tell it's excited about Christmas. I know, Chip, you've been around the city a long time, but the downtown atmosphere and environment and success of businesses is electric, and you can see just how it's energized downtown with the eating establishments, the retail, all the activity going on, and it's something exciting to see. And I didn't think it would just boom like it
Well,
has.
it makes it like it used to be years
Yep.
ago.
It's
And,
back.
You know, we remember
Oh, yeah.
when you had all that and, you know, big parades, lots of bands. When, you know, we had all the high school bands would participate. And
Well, I even go back further than that, back in the early 70s when it was on Sunday at 2 o'clock.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, in the late 60s and back in that, and you had Carver Smith and you had
Oh,
Clark
yeah.
and
Oh,
Carl,
Yeah.
and they put on
Oh.
a show. I mean, you know,
TSU band would come down.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, you know,
Wow.
as kids,
Yeah.
we can remember that as far as shopping and all, your stores were downtown.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the only other shopping area we had was right up here where Harris Foodland is now, and you
Yep.
had W.T. Grant's store there.
Right.
Then you had
Downtown,
Gibson-
downtown you
Gibson
had
came in.
Evans.
That was later.
You had Evans and Woolworths
Right.
and Penny's was
Right.
downtown. You had Big and Parsons.
Anderson
Right.
Brothers and Foster.
Anderson Brothers
Helms.
Foster's. And then you had your jewelry stores
Yeah.
there, you know,
Yeah.
Helms,
R.C. May.
R.C. May, and
Ted's, and
Ted's,
all that.
you know, all that.
Well, Ted's is still there.
And you had Western Auto.
West,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Where First Farmers Bank is now in the corner right there was
Right.
Western Auto.
I mean, you know, and of course you had the furniture stores,
Oh, yeah.
Curly and was it Hunter?
yeah, Hunter Furniture. Yeah.
And
Right
all
next to
that.
the pool hall.
Yeah, Shamrock.
Hey, our guest tonight is Mac Reagan. He is the Columbia City Parks and Recreation Director and anchor down Vanderbilt fan because Bruno Reagan, his son, was playing center, number 61 for the Vanderbilt Commodores this year, and I watched a lot of Bruno Reagan.
He,
I'm a big fan now. So
He
I just
moved
wanted to
over
know.
from guard to center this
Yeah.
year, didn't he?
That's correct. I think he moved during fall camp.
Okay.
Just something he was going to have to do anyway eventually. He's projected as a center as far as NFL personnel a lot.
Cool.
Although his guard rating has actually gone up continuously. So
okay.
when you're 320 pounds and can move, they'll find a place for you in the inside. So
Well, that's true.
hopefully that works out for him. You know, I know he's put a lot into it, but he had a real good year. Not a real good year as a team. I mean, 5-7, but what are you going to say?
Better than 4-8.
Yeah,
See, I was
An offer in the SEC.
that always makes the year a little better. I mean, you know, when you're sitting up there and you're watching the clock tick with about 8 minutes to go, and you know there's nothing going to happen that this is going to go against you. It's a good feeling.
Oh, speaking of Christmas, you guys over at Woodland Park and over in Fairview, are we having the Christmas lights again?
We are. It cranks up on Monday, so you'll be able to drive through the park. It's better if you enter on the where you go over the train track side.
Is there a particular time you do that?
Yeah, it'll start after 6 o'clock.
Okay.
You know, so
Ninth Street.
night. Yeah, Woodland Park. You'll enter. You'll at the house there. We've got a lot of work on the house that's taking place right now. We had to redo the foundation and some things like that,
Really?
roofing,
Wow.
and it's ongoing. So we're not able to decorate the house as much. Just had to get it repainted. It's a 150-year-old house, and we finally had to do some touch-up stuff to it. But it's coming along real nice. So got some new things working with the school system. If you saw an ad in the paper today, so hope everybody get out and enjoy.
Good deal. So that's coming up starting Monday.
Starting Monday, but that's a good job taking off the beatdown that happened in Knoxville. That's pretty slick there.
Well, I wanted to get back to that as
But I
quickly as we
appreciate, as
could
the parks
before
director,
forget
I
it.
really appreciate that.
I had an opportunity several weeks ago. Was out at a friend's house, the Foster's house, and met up with an old friend of mine from years ago. He was in the Scouts, and he was in a different scout troop than I was. But I knew Will Rainey, and I met up with him and hadn't seen him for years and years and years. And he was telling me how much land the Raineys at one time had.
It was
In addition to Woodland Park, it went all the way from Murray Regional Hospital on Trotwood, all the way past, like way up here past Woodland Park. And he was telling me the story about all that. It was very, very interesting about the house over there in Woodland Park and the whole thing. So
Well, you know,
the Rainies have had this land forever.
Well, you know, they had the canning company.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, Rainey Farm produced a lot of the produce that was canned at the cannery there. And I remember reading an article. It's strange I remember this, but there along 11th Street, one of the fields there had several acres of asparagus. So that was one of the big crops that they raised.
That's new information.
You know.
You know, we've heard stories about it, about like a Civil War soldier being buried there on the park grounds, things of that nature. So it's got a lot of history to it. The park was a donation, what you think of it. Downtown, 60-plus acres. That's a pretty good donation. Plus, we've got a historical house.
Oh, you do, yeah.
And you think of the house was built right at 1900. So, and you think the size of the house, how massive, it shows that the family obviously was. But they were doing well.
I had great memories of Mr. Rainey, Bill Rainey, running Woodland Park.
Right.
And the train that he ran around there.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned to swim was Woodland Park. My brother threw me in and said, swim or drown. So
well,
that's
they
where
didn't
I
have
learned.
a shallow side.
No, they didn't. No. And it actually was. It was one of two pools we had here in town. We had had Woodland here, and then we had Oak Park.
Right.
Out on
Williamsport Pike.
Williamsport Pike. I'm sorry, but all the cool kids went to Woodland. Everybody else went to Oak Park. So it was an interesting time back.
Well, we had
turn of the century when I was growing up.
When we went to when I was at Whitthorne.
Yeah.
If we waited on the bus, we got home at 10 minutes till 4
from
Whitthorne to Rolling Fields.
Right.
But we could walk, and we'd cut through. And Bill Rainey's dad, the other Mr. Rainey, only had one rule. We always had to speak to him when we cut through. But part of that rule and the reason for it was he would tell us which pasture the bull was in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good rule.
That was a good thing to know.
Actually, it was.
You know, I've heard people tell me that they cut through before they stop by the park. We'll have people that come back in town, and they're all within a certain age range, and they all talk about how they walk through the park to go home from school.
Well,
so it
you
must have
know,
been a common thing.
And Rainey's pastures where many a ball game took place.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so yeah, there's a big history.
But that was back when Whitthorne was downtown, where
Yeah.
central office is now.
Okay.
And the central office building was the 9th grade wing for Whitthorne.
Yeah, it had the cafeteria.
Yeah.
and all right
Some of
there.
the great sandwiches I remember from that.
But I hated seeing the old building torn down, especially when there was a group that wanted to come in and redo it
Mm-hmm.
and put a theater, basically. You know,
Yeah.
when I say theater, not a movie theater, but one where they would actually do plays and stuff
Right.
like that.
Theatrical.
Right.
All right. Well, this is a sports show. Let's talk some sports, guys.
So what's happened since
Still
last
no
time I was
coach
here,
at
Dan?
UT.
Well, the last time you were
No
here,
Arkansas.
the last time you were here, and we'll talk about this. The last time you were here, we had the Mid-State Classic coming up,
That's correct.
which we did not have because God, it was cold that day.
It was freezing.
It was
We moved the date, April the 10th this year, going to be about a month later.
right.
University of Memphis is coming in, going to play University of Tennessee. That's Memphis State for the older people, like Ty, who used to go there a long time ago. So,
Yeah, Ty, you know they used to call it Tiger High. I'm just saying. I didn't do that. I did not say that. I'm just saying that that's what they said, not me.
I am going to be a man of few words tonight. I'm going to let him have the mic. He gets his time. Anchor down. He deserves
We're
it.
not there yet. We're not at that particular point in time.
We'll
just
get
yet.
there, though.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But you did such a great job last night that I can't fault you at all. I mean, that was a exemplary performance last night.
But I have to say though, getting back to the Mid-State Classic this
Yes.
past year,
Yes.
when it was supposed to have been University of Tennessee and Auburn playing, we did get to witness Mr. Bill Marbert and his crew
Prep that field.
prep that field.
I mean, it started out.
It started out just like a mud waller,
Thank you.
you know.
And we kept
what was
making
it, 4
bets.
inches of water?
Yeah, in the right around second base.
Yeah.
And I kept asking.
Miniature lake out there.
I kept asking Eddie. I said, "What if he's going to hit that water puddle this time?" You know, because he's going around this little 3-wheeling thing he's got.
Spreading
And
that mix they have.
at Mule Mix, I guarantee you. But I'm going to tell you, Bill Marbert is not just a man who sits in his office and does nothing. He's one that's
He's
out there.
hands-on.
He is hands-on with that company.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, they were a big part in that field being playable.
Right.
Field was playable. It was just too cold.
It was too cold. It was too cold for us sitting in the press box, and it had a heater
Yeah.
Yeah.
because people kept opening the door.
But they came out, and that's a good thing about. I got to say positively, is you look at the head coach at the University of Tennessee and what he does for that program. He came out, signed autographs, had over 1,000 people show up, and you just got to say good things about Ralph and Karen Weekly.
Yeah.
For what they do for not only their University of Tennessee but for softball. I mean, he could have easily tucked the shallow road out. I'm not going to say anything bad, but like other people did and got out of town. But, he stayed out there in the cold. They performed, signed over 1,000 autographs, and everybody who came out felt pretty good about as good as you can feel about a bad situation.
And what they did was
I really enjoyed that home run contest.
Yeah,
that
that
they
was
had,
fun. That was fun.
And think how cold it was. Think what that'd be if it'd be a warm day, how they would all just fly out.
Wow.
And the wind was blowing in, and they still cranking them things out.
Yeah.
And we've got grass is already green this year. We've already got the transformation taking place. I'm suspecting there'll be at least 3,500 people there for the game. It'll be the biggest game probably we've ever had. So I expect it'll be a good show. University of Memphis came in and they've been improving every bit and showed all class, didn't they, Ty?
Yeah. Head coach Natalie Poole, I was really impressed there.
Yeah.
Great program.
But you can tell she's excited about this.
She really is.
I was telling Dan earlier, I think she's coming in here, she's going to line up, and she's going to make a run at them. It's
But
going to be a
Mac-
good game.
Mac, I think she's excited because she knows what a great job the city of Columbia and
Oh, we're
There
going to roll
is
up.
Your
no,
department,
there
they're-
is
they're-
no
I
better
mean-
red carpet that is laid out except for the Mid-State
the
Classic. I'm going to
Mid-State
tell you.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Classics become big.
It's we treat them like it's a bowl game.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was impressive though, just last year, how when we didn't have the game and just had the home run
Yeah.
derby, but after that, the kids got the autograph section.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Weekly
big deal.
counting how many kids had been through, and he told Mr. Massey and me the count. I can't remember what it was at the time,
I think it was
700 at the time he was counting, but that was really good thing to do, and the kids really liked it. Got
Well,
'em
city
up
manager
close.
Tony Massey last night before the parade was showing me some pictures of their facility at the University of Tennessee. It is as good as any facility nationwide.
I wouldn't
It's
expect any less.
awesome.
Go Vols.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's awesome. I mean, really. Hey, we got to be happy for the softball program
And basketball.
because
Rick
these
Barnes.
folks look the softball
Tennessee Vols
program.
are 6-1 in SEC. Excuse me, it hadn't started SEC play, but 6-1 so far in the start of the season after a big win at Georgia Tech on the road.
And cracked the
Other
top
night,
25.
so-
What sport is that?
Yeah. Did they crack the top
Basketball.
25?
Oh,
Yeah, then the top 20. Vanderbilt used to have a good basketball team. Are they rebound back or?
I don't know. I think I saw the billboards the other day that they've signed 2 5-stars coming in supposedly next
Really?
year. Yeah, they're supposed to be having one of the best classes coming in next year. So we will be handing their rears to them in the basketball also next year. No, you know, you're talking about that, but one of the most striking things was when I got there and looked at the teams on the field.
Right.
And I've told Ty this, and I've told, other people I know that are Tennessee fans. Vanderbilt was better at every position. Vanderbilt was drastically better on the offensive line. They were drastically better at quarterback. Running back Ralph Webb showed that he's a better
Right,
running back.
right.
The receivers are older. Tennessee, for all these great recruiting classes, couldn't match up. Vanderbilt, who was 5-7, was better than them at every position. I don't think that they was a position. Matter of fact, on offense, I made the comment. I think Trey Smith would start at a guard for Vanderbilt, but other than that, I don't think anybody would start.
Ralph Webb just showed out.
Yeah, I mean, he turned it loose.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He figured, why not? Just crank it up and do it in their house.
Yeah, and he had a rough year. He'd been really banged up and,
Right.
and fought through a lot of stuff. And Ralph's had a lot of carries, and I think Ralph will get a good shot. And he'll be in a camp in the fall, and hopefully he gets to make some money at football.
Good deal. Excellent.
So you want to talk about as we close out football? Columbia Academy had a good season. Central High had a good recovery from last season.
Columbia Academy went to the semis, got beat by Union City,
Who won the state?
who won the state.
So
they were
They were that good.
Well,
had to do it in overtime fashion.
Double.
Yeah, but let me tell you, I know Maurice Patton was there,
He was.
and he gave us all constant updates on Facebook, which he's real good about doing. And I texted him privately. I said, "Are they as good as your updates state?" And one word, yeah. And they were just running all over Columbia Academy. But congrats to CA for doing an outstanding job in getting to the semifinal.
season.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, for
To
a
get to
sports
that.
fan, Maurice is a great follow. I've known Maurice since
Right.
probably 10 years. He started covering Bruno when he was back in wrestling, and just a phenomenal Twitter follower, especially locally now that he's working at the Herald.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
he's a
gets
good
you
addition.
get all the information. He's up to date. So
And just for everybody's information, University of Tennessee is not the only school in Tennessee looking for a coach. Spring Hill is looking for.
I saw
Yes,
that.
they are.
Football coach.
Emmons resigned yesterday, I
Just
believe.
new
I
job
think it
somewhere
was-
else or what?
I think it was kind of a
Mutual.
we want you to leave, and they're not. They weren't
Just
specifying
mutual
reasons.
Yeah, I have no clue.
You know.
Well, there's definitely going to be some changes in the SEC next year with
Oh, yeah.
head coaches, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of interesting things happen, but change is when you have a lot of money at stake and a lot of things involved. Change is going
Well, there's a lot of money over in Texas. 'cause
change is going to happen.
While we're still on the subject, not getting that far away from it, Columbia Central, congratulations to them. They turned their season around this year and went 7-3.
That's right.
From an 0-10 2016 to a 7-3 17, and went to one playoff game. They went to the Beach, and the Beach won.
Yeah,
big time.
But the beach got blown away. Little
Yes, they
little
did.
tsunami come through.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they did. And I was glad to see that too, because I don't like beach. But anyway, from CBSSports.com, Oregon's Willie Taggart, like enough beans, Mr. Taggart, replaces Jimbo Fisher at Florida State.
You know, I know Willie.
Who cares?
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, call him up and give him a.
Well, I don't think we're on those terms because that's who Bruno was committed to play for,
Oh,
and decommitted when Willie decided to change offensive coordinator, who was Walt Wells, who was an
Okay.
old college teammate of mine, and now Walt Wells is coaching offensive line at University of Tennessee. Well, at least he is as of today.
but let's throw this out there. If Brady Hoke stays on, which is who knows? At this particular point, who knows? Would the coaching staff probably stay the same?
The coaching staff would most likely stay. There's a good chance they'll keep Wells anyway. For one, I mean, he covered up a lot of deficiencies they had this year. They had one offensive lineman at the end of the year that actually could play SEC football, and he was a freshman. And
Big freshman.
yeah, they've got some things that'll go on. See, that'll be an interesting thing if there is a coaching change. How will they handle Trey Smith?
Yeah.
Trey Smith struggles on the outside against speed, and they had to play him at guard.
He's better at guard.
Yeah, but he's not me, who's an inside player. I can tell you, he's not going to make a lot of money, big NFL money at guard. So Trey's going to be pushing to be move out. Are they going to have somebody that can teach him and get his feet to where he can move out? Because if he can move to tackle, you're looking at a guy who's going to be there 2 more years and he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So, but they've got a lot of things going on. Their talent levels got to improve, and coaches aren't really wanting to come there because of let's just be honest.
Well,
It's a volcano about to pop at all times.
we had I think it was a 4-star commitment to decommit to Tennessee yesterday, and
But you got to admit, everything on the hill up there right now is the proverbial dumpster fire. I mean, for everything.
You got a major booster who has been involved with almost everything for many years, who is basically being pushed to the side. And he's not going to sit.
he's not going to roll over easy.
No. And he's going to come back with a vengeance.
I think he will.
I know he will. How many billionaires like to be told, no, you go over here, sit down in the corner and be quiet? It don't happen.
It doesn't.
It doesn't happen. It's by his nature. And you got to look at how much money he's put into the University of Tennessee. They got, what, $350 million project getting ready to come up?
I understand, but that's the major rub for me.
Yeah.
That is the
that's
major
it.
rub for me.
That's at every university out there.
I understand that, without a doubt.
That's the evil that goes into college sports.
That is Alabama as well. I mean,
Oh,
every
it's
major
everywhere.
But
college.
everywhere.
but there's one difference. And they missed the opportunity at University of Tennessee when this hire right here, they have an opportunity. We'll just say it like that. Your coach has to be able to win at a level that he can tell the boosters, okay, give us your money. We'll get your picture taken with our SEC championship banner. We'll make nice. We'll come and have dinner with you. But get out of my way and let me coach football.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shake your hand every second I get. We'll let you stand on the sidelines before the game, let you walk up right before the game. But get out of the coaching. Get out of everything. You're not here. You're not going to hire a coach.
Nick Saban told him down in Alabama
Exactly.
when he
But see,
took,
Nick had them in such a bind. Alabama people were about to march on the athletic department and run people out of town.
Right.
That's the reason their
Why-
athletic
during his
director.
first year or so.
No, yeah. Well, when they went to hiring, they couldn't. They were having trouble hiring a coach. Same as Tennessee.
Well, they went through several.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And one
they
didn't even coach a game. That was,
Well,
Yeah.
I heard
Well,
he coached
yeah,
in a
but
little
he-
club,
Yeah.
but that was about it.
He used the school credit card.
I had
at
to
a
remind.
club.
I had to remind a
gentleman's
cocky
club.
Alabama fan of that a couple of weeks ago.
And they were a
But
dumpster
they went
fire.
through some coaches: Mike DeBose, Mike Shula.
wow.
We
Well,
could go.
wow.
Fran
Shula-
Andy or
Shula
whatever.
was hired
Shula
for one
steered them through their probationary
Right.
period.
He was hired to
Got 'em
get
in
them through the
there. That's what
probation
he was
period,
supposed
and that
to
was
do.
it. And he knew what the handwriting on the wall was. As soon as I get him through the probationary period, he knew he's out of there.
But let me ask you, I heard this mentioned on the way over on Sports Talk Radio locally.
Yeah, 104.5.
Actually, it's 102.
2.9.
Yeah,
or 2.5
It was
or-
Floyd Reese was talking about it.
Oh, okay.
And Floyd's a football guy,
Yep.
Uh,
Used to be with the Titans.
general manager, and then went on and worked with New England, and he was suggesting that they've gone so far down, the level of coaches they're going to hire won't be able to stay there that long, so they may be okay to hire Hoke. I'm not of that. I think that's like punting and giving up.
Yeah.
I think that you make a reach, but they're not going to get a reach by some of the coordinators.
But here's when you're looking at replacing Taggart at Oregon. Here are some of the candidates' names that are being mentioned that are not even being mentioned at Tennessee, or at least they haven't been mentioned since Fulmer has taken over as AD. Mike Leach, Mario Cristobal, Oregon interim coach,
Right?
Kevin Sumlin
Correct.
from Texas A&M, Lane Kiffin has been mentioned,
Dang good football coach. I know people here don't like him, but he's a good football coach.
Jim McElwain,
Good football coach.
and T. Martin.
I don't think they're going to hire T.
I don't think they're going to hire T either.
I think that's T trying to send out a little thing to Tennessee.
that may be as well. But T is also he's proving his time with USC as an offensive coordinator. But at what point does he get an opportunity to go to be a head coach somewhere? Is he going to have to go to a lesser school in order to do that, or do you take him at a place like University of Tennessee and surround him with an outstanding support staff?
Well, what other options does Tennessee have right now?
At this particular point, I'd say we got, let's see, Mike Leach, we've got Lane
No,
Kiffin.
I believe they've already said no. Lane hasn't, I don't think.
No, but Lane's dangling. He's doing that as a joke. I think.
Lane and Fulmer are not best of friends.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Lane, if he comes in to coach, and I actually heard him talk about this once. He said the difference between coaching as the Oakland Raiders head coach and the University of Tennessee's head coach is that Tennessee, it took him 30 minutes to get gas because he had to take a picture, he had a smile, everything like that.
Right.
He said, and even that's different now. In in other SEC schools, that's what you face. You stop and get gas, everybody wants to take a picture. They want to, hey, hold my baby. It's like being a politician,
Yeah.
But the good coaches win at a high enough level. Do you think Nick Saban does that?
No, he pays
No.
somebody
He
else
just
to go
pays
get
somebody to
his
go
gas
get
for him.
for him. Exactly. That's it.
Yeah. Or he walks so fast.
Yeah.
He walks so fast,
Yeah.
acts like he does.
He probably got his own gas pump at the house.
He just has a guy that leaves Tuscaloosa to go get him a new Mercedes at his dealership in Nashville. That's not a big deal.
Well, he doesn't have to go to Nashville. He's got one in Birmingham.
Well, does he got one down there? Okay, that's just a little
Birmingham,
closer.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting what they do because a long time ago I was working in recreation, just got out of grad school, and I was working recreation at Austin Peay, and they were having a meeting, and they were talking about going to non-scholarship football. And I remember I told Vice President then, I said, listen, this is the South. If you're losing at football, you're losing at everything at your university.
Yeah.
It's the South. And I think a lot of people don't realize, I think the chancellor at the University of Tennessee didn't take that into heart. I think she didn't realize what a monster she was sitting on.
I don't think she still does.
Well, it'll probably be something that'll catch up with.
Well, she came from Cincinnati.
Well, the thing is, during the press conference the
You
other
never
day
say
when
it.
she announced that Fulmer was going to take over, which, by the way, would like to say that the former AD has not yet been fired. He's still on some kind of
administrative
leave or
Paid.
whatever.
with pay.
According to Mr. Davenport, he is suspended.
But here's what's going to happen.
But that's still he's getting paid for that.
They're going to have to pay him.
Oh yeah.
They're going to try
Yeah.
to say that they want to fire him because, listen, you do not want him getting on the stand under oath talking about how the university behaved.
Oh no.
All the stuff. You think you're embarrassed now, you get that man under oath when he's got a vengeance. You're going to have to pay off Greg Schiano.
That's going to come up.
Yeah.
Because he signed on the dotted line.
How much are you going to
Now,
have to
that's-
pay?
You don't know that for
Well,
sure.
here, yeah.
Yes,
We
I
don't-
do.
Now,
The-
the chancellor at UT did not sign the document, so
That's-
therefore it's not.
It will
That's the
not-
propaganda that you are
Well,
being sold.
Yeah, I know. It's
But
like-
the- but
it's
the
like
truth
what's coming
of it
out
is-
it's like what's coming out of Washington right now.
But
Yeah.
you had state legislatures calling him
which is not
Yeah.
their
a
job.
child molester.
Correct.
Which
So-
is not their job to even be
Nope,
getting
nope,
involved.
nope,
but that's
nope.
another.
So
story.
all this is going to wash its way out.
yeah.
Jimmy Sexton is his agent. Okay.
He's everybody's agent.
But here's the thing: when have you ever heard of Jimmy Sexton making a mistake that he didn't come out on top with? Ever?
No.
Exactly. That's the reason I say they're going to have to pay something. Now, what if it was a $27 million contract?
They're not going to pay $27 million.
They may not have a choice.
I-
If they
I
go to
think
court,
you're
they may
wrong.
not have a choice.
But you're
because at the
wearing-
beginning, there's interviews to where the athletic director said he was the sole person in charge of hiring. The chancellor, in an interview, said that also. So if you've got them admitting on tape that he's responsible for the hire legally, and I asked this,
They'll just say it's not their voice.
yeah, that may be your best defense. But whatever. Let's guess.
Tape is not allowed.
How much would it be?
Is it on video? Is it
Yeah.
on audio?
Yeah, it was on video. But the thing about it is, how much would it be worth to the University of Tennessee to walk out with this without having to go through trial? $10 million?
I don't know. I mean, when you start figuring up the numbers, Butch Jones $8.5 million right off the bat to pay
12
off his
total,
contract.
staff and everybody.
Okay, all right. Then you're looking at Schiano. If he gets, let's say, it was a $27 million contract, but I'll settle for $5 million.
Right.
Okay, now we're up to 17. So you're looking at probably, I would say by the time
5.5 John Curry.
okay, so I'd say by the time you're all said and done, $25 million to make this whole thing go away.
This is from an athletic department which made a lot of money last year.
Yeah.
But like 3 years ago, only had $1 million in reserve.
Wow, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. About 3 years ago, they had $1 million in reserve.
Wow.
The University of Tennessee. They had one of the lowest reserves. At the same time, Alabama had $270 million.
I was gonna say since certain ones wanted a certain hire, let them be responsible for paying the settlement
Well,
to that coach.
they probably would settle, but they have to be making the decisions to do that. See, you're not going
See
to.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
they're
agree
going to.
with that,
They're not
too.
going to do that. But I can just. I have a huge ego. I'll go ahead and tell you. If I, yeah,
Not Mac.
if I had that much invested in the university,
Yeah.
and I was pushed out, I would have to pray every minute to not bring down all the wrath and use every asset I had to destroy everybody involved. That I'm a compulsive person, so that's I react and I back up. You know, I remember my dad's teaching. You know, good Reverend Reagan, so I remember that. So, but I'm telling you, people that have made it to that level and succeeded at that level don't get there. You don't get to be a billionaire by not taking a fight on.
But what if Mr. Moneyman decides that since Fulmer was appointed AD, and he and Fulmer probably don't see eye to eye, and he's kind of felt like he's been pushed aside, what if Mr. Moneyman says, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done. I've
Well,
given
just in case-
$350 million to this university over the past 10 years, my family and I have. And you have come to do this to me. Because he's going to take it personal.
Yeah.
Like you would.
Well,
You've
like
done-
most people would.
Exactly. You've done this to me, so I'm done. Checkbook closed.
You know, you're
Now you have to buy, the university has to buy out all of this without his help in doing that.
Well, there's a few other people.
Well, I know. I mean, there's a
Good
few
right to
others.
check.
You're
Well, I
asking the
understand.
Vanderbilt man.
Well,
Turn over here and ask Chip and Eddie.
Okay, what about it?
Yeah.
All right, guys, tell me.
Chip.
What would you do?
No. I mean, if he's
What
Prob-
would you do?
he's
What would
probably
you
gonna
do?
he's probably going to take his little toys, and he needs to worry about the Cleveland Browns. But
No, he needs to worry about Flying J
Well,
and whether or not he's going to be.
got
Well,
that.
there-
He's-
I'll
he's-
shut up on that one.
He's not going to worry too much there because Mr. Buffett is buying into the thing.
That's what I was asking when we were talking
And
about.
and Mr. Buffett has made the statement that in a year and a half he'll have the controlling interest.
That would be Warren Buffett, not Jimmy Buffett.
Right. Although Jimmy could probably buy it too if he wanted to.
If he wanted to, yeah, yeah.
But I made the
but
statement.
here's the thing.
Uh,
You've got the Hatfields on one side and the McCoys on the other. And if one of them wants to take their toys and go home, you're just going to have to let them.
Because you're not going to make everybody happy.
Because
Chip.
there's
just
no
no
way.
way.
And then on top of that, you got Billy Bob from Maryville.
who could give a rat's behind about the whole thing?
No. You're wrong.
No. I'm saying he could give a rat's behind about Haslam or any of those guys.
All he cares about is the Vols.
Thank you. Go Vols.
Go Vols. And it's coming down.
It's
And
Billy John from Marble.
now all of a sudden they're jumped up into all this.
Yeah.
And they've got a voice. And why in the world? Of course, you got to remember, it's Billy Bob from Maryville that kept thinking John Gruden's going to come riding in and
God bless
save
him.
But-
everything.
but-
And John Gruden never was coming.
But they should have put that to rest.
And they should
They
have.
left
They
it hanging.
should have knocked that down.
He made a little comment last night.
And
on,
I think that goes back to
on-
Curry.
on the ball game.
It does. And Curry was
He played like
Haslam's guy. And it's
Curry was played like a fool. I mean, you know that's just it.
well, he was put in a position that he could not be successful.
Yeah, but still though,
had no
Curry should have been the one that said, "Look, guys, as much as we'd all like to have Gruden, it ain't happening. Forget about it. It's not going to happen."
I don't think Gruden was ever in play with him.
No,
No.
I don't think.
no,
They should have squashed it
and
with the
he
people.
should have been the one to
If
squash
you'd have
it. And he
knocked that
didn't.
out right at the get go,
I think Gruden was trolling. He was throwing
he was?
that
Oh.
fishing pole out there and he was pulling it back
matter
every
of fact,
day.
Likes to be loved. He's got that big
Yeah,
ego.
That's right.
and he's made the statement today
Uh-huh.
that he would be interested in the New York Giants head coaching job.
Wow.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
well,
I have not heard that.
he needed to stay in the NFL anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a Vanderbilt fan, I was praying they hired him because let me see how I thought. As I heard that, I was like, "This is what's going to happen." They're going to hire Gruden. Tennessee's going to be up on cloud nine. They're going to roll in the dud next year. We're going to smash them in the mouth again. They're going to quit, and Tennessee is going to explode because their great coach just got smashed in the Dudley, and they've lost 5 out of 7. They could have got a much better coach than Gruden. Much
But
better.
a backstory that's come out of all this is everybody talked about General Nealon was hired to beat Vanderbilt.
He's not available.
No, but here's the
He might be. We can dig him up.
The new coach.
the true story on that was he was hired to come in to teach ROTC, and he had to pick
I
between
have heard
two
that.
schools, and it just so happened he picked Tennessee.
Well, we'd have known about that then. We would have threw some gas on that fire and got something started up there. Got a rumor started. Got him a.
Hey, by the way, we want to thank our sponsor, True Love's Pizza and Grits. I have not – Ty, will you do me a favor? Would you reach up there and grab the True Love's Pizza and Grits logo? I forgot to bring it down, but they're at 1144 Riverside Drive, 388-7770. And if you want some of the best pizza – we're going to have some here in a few minutes, but if you want some of the best pizza in town, if you want the best pizza in town, then you need to go to True Love's Pizza and Grits, 1144 Riverside Drive. No, I'm pointing.
Excellent.
I'm pointing at it. See, I'm letting the cameras point this thing. Well, there we go. That's it. That's it. Ty Cobb, ladies and gentlemen, being our Vanna White. Thank you very much. But They've got the what?
Can I buy a vowel?
What do you what do you normally get out there? Do you get chicken wings?
I get wings, or I've been known to get pizza. I've done the shrimp and grits and chicken and grits.
Yeah.
I've done it all. I'm a connoisseur.
They're open Wednesday through Sunday, and they open weekdays at 11 o'clock. And you'll have to look at their sign to find out what their closing hours are. I don't have that sitting in front of me, but check them out. They are our sole, complete, honest sponsor.
They are delicious.
Yes, they are.
Great thin crust pizza.
Oh man, wow!
Great.
And a big supporter of the Mid-State Classic, by the way.
That's correct. That's correct.
Have the UT? We're going to have a UT team out there again this year.
It will most likely be UT or Memphis.
Okay.
Well,
Because
I know UT made the comment that they wanted
he
to
wanted to come
back.
back. They want to come back the next night.
Wanted to go back to True Love. So.
What teenager doesn't like pizza?
That's
you know?
true. But they had a good time out there. They really did. I had a good time out there taking pictures for them too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I gotta get in on that deal.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is say something. Come out there and help me.
I'm saying something, man.
Okay. You can be my assistant. That won't be a problem. That'll be easy to do. But anyway, True Love's Pizza and Grits, 1144 Riverside Drive, 388-7770. Ty, what shirt you got on there? Smashville Fire Department? What is this?
I was ready to change the subject a minute ago and say hockey is going on. Nashville Predators won last night against the Boston Bruins.
Yes, they did.
Beat the Anaheim Ducks before that in a game I was at that was probably 6 or 7 fights. A very intense, emotional game. Hockey
Now, these
is
are the
going
fights
well
you
in
don't
Smashville.
see in the highlights from Channel 5, 4, 2.
Nah, you don't see all that. But the Preds are hot. They're
Well,
on
what
a-
I
they're on a
like
streak
about
right now.
the pro hockey versus the minor league hockey that we used to have up there is pro hockey. The officials kind of let them fight, and then
They
they'll
let 'em
break
get
them up.
tired.
Minor league, they'd
Yeah.
always stop it before they ever got to the blows.
Before you
know?
got good.
You know. And I thought, man, I ain't getting my money's worth there.
That was the old Nashville Knights.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, they were good.
Yeah, they were. They were
Yes,
fun to
I
be
enjoyed
around.
watching them play.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, up there one night, one of the Nashville Knights players stole the puck, and boy, he was on a breakaway, just him and the goalie, you know, and he was skating out through there. Well, the guy on the other team come flying up behind him and took his stick and hooked his skate and snatched it out from underneath him, and of course, face first went to Nashville Knight. Well, he jumps up, throws both gloves off, and starting toward the guy, and the officials grab him.
Yeah.
Now then, they go to the penalty box. The Nashville Knight player got more time in the box than the guy who hooked him got.
Hooked him, caught him, and cleaned him.
Yep. But
Which I thought, the other guy didn't even throw a punch, and you're giving him more time.
So now with this, does this shirt allow you to get in for like free or anything?
actually, this shirt that I'm wearing
Yes.
is Smashville Fire, Local 140. That's a friend of mine, President Mark Young, who's the union president for the Nashville Fire Department. And
okay.
They were selling these shirts last night and at Friday night's game for their toy drive that local in Nashville puts on, the firefighters do. So I didn't go to last night's game because I was side by side with you at the Christmas parade, but got this shirt sent to me, so it was brought to me at work this morning. I was pretty proud of it. On
Notice
the back,
we
it says,
forgot about it again, Dan.
Smashville Fire on the back, so
Cool.
that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Cool shirt. So go Preds. They're 27-17, 38 points in the Western Conference, and I got a feeling it's going to be another good playoff run for them if they
Good
can
deal.
keep it going. They're fast.
Best atmosphere in sports.
Oh, I'll guarantee you that.
Yep.
There's
Good to
no
see that
doubt.
the Titans had a little bit of that the other day.
What
Yeah.
about
8-4.
what about Derrick Henry lighting it up with a 72-yarder? They I saw it on a
Finalized
post.
it.
I said it on a post today. He was like the fastest in the NFL this past week.
Well,
out of
240 pounds.
The
at
commentator
240
said,
pounds.
it's unfair for a man that weighs 240 pounds, has got that much speed, and
He was like 21.75 miles per hour.
He pulled
Wow.
pulled away from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, even the safety
That
was
poor
coming
safety.
over. He didn't stand
Do
a
you
chance.
think we might should run him to the outside occasionally?
especially to the left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because Taylor Lewan, and I know a lot of people complain about his penalties. There is not a better left tackle in football right now.
He's in it, isn't he?
They are.
He's intense.
They are.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He is a beast.
He plays
Man,
football the way it was meant to be played.
Yeah.
You
You
like that, don't you?
Well,
Yes,
but,
yes, I do.
But even
No, yes, I do.
even going back to high school, the high school coaches say if you get those penalties, that's okay because we know what you're going to get those penalties. But
You're
that
being
means you're playing
aggressive.
your position.
Yeah. But I would say he will be the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL.
He's going to have to be.
And they're going to come with a situation where if you had to give up one, right now, if you had to give up him or Mariota, who would you give up?
Oh, I'd give up Mariota in a heartbeat
That's what I'm saying. I think I would too.
because Mariota's not the answer to the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
watch his play, and he keeps saying every week, "I've got to get better. I've got to get better. I've got to get better."
I
Well,
think
you're
they're
not
invested
getting
in him.
any better.
Yeah. And that's a concern.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
I know.
I
don't think he
he'll
is
go,
either.
I don't think he'll go.
I know.
anywhere.
Also in that ball game, you kind of felt sorry a little bit for the left tackle of Houston.
Yeah, the offsides.
Well,
Nice.
the false start.
Yeah,
Three.
that's correct.
Three false
But
starts
that's
in a row.
good. That's like the old Titans. That's that crowd getting
Okay,
into it.
all right. Let's back up on that. Okay, we set them back 4th and 19. Then they get
Complete it.
23 yards.
They complete it.
Come on! I'm sitting in the other room over here. I'm screaming. I'm
Yeah.
saying, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Hey, and
Hey,
how
that was a
Guy
fantastic
made a play.
catch, and the throw was right where his receivers only
Yeah.
one that could touch it.
I know.
It was the guy made a good play.
But let's
so you
back
made
up
a
one
good
more
play.
time. They were also playing a team that was like misfit toys. I mean, they're all
Well,
put
they're
together
all,
in pieces
with-
and parts.
held together with duct tape.
some glue, some glue. But you're right.
Now-
How did they let that happen though?
Now
Yeah.
that receiver
Yeah.
for
Catch
Houston,
the ball in front of you. Catch the ball in front of you.
that one receiver for Houston. If I'm head coach and I see him carrying the football, with that one hand each
Yeah.
time, first time he fumbles the ball, his butt's going to be on the bench over there. Plus, he's going to get fined for.
Oh, they would find him,
Oh yeah.
but I don't think they'll ever bench him. He's just too good a player.
No.
And that's the thing most people we just really don't understand. You know, in high school you demand, college, you know, you're going out and you're trying to set a standard as a coach. This is what we want to be. In the NFL, you're asking players to do stuff.
And I
Saying,
know
this is what we want you to do.
I know that everybody loves, or not everybody. The folks who are New England Patriots fans love Gronkowski, but that was a cheap shot that he took on that
Hey,
player.
Well, he got suspended for it.
Absolutely ridiculous. Somebody just didn't take him apart.
And
Yeah.
the
He needs his rear-ended
and
kick.
the Steelers player, the cheap shot. That
Oh
he did,
wow, wow, yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, just look at it. He just
Who do I
dives.
look
He just dives on the paw and just a guy who got a turnover, frustration.
Yeah.
but he needs his butt kicked.
But who was it?
Gronkowski
Gronkowski.
For
was the one that did
Patriots?
that.
Just type
Yeah.
in, just
Last
Google
night?
his fine.
Sunday night.
He got suspended for it.
Yeah. And then a big fine too. Like they said, the FedEx package arrives at your door the next morning.
I think it's Tuesday in the NFL. I think it's Tuesday.
Is it on Tuesday?
Yeah.
What, the bill or
Well, you get the letter telling you how much they're taking out of your check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
withholding from your check.
do you really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's on Tuesday. And you get that. And that gives you a chance to appeal it, which he already appealed and I think is overturned.
I mean, it was obvious. I mean,
I mean, it was
it was
just
stupid.
cheap.
yeah, it was a cheap
Play.
shot.
You know,
You will see a retaliation eventually happen. You'll see him catch a pass
Yeah.
across the middle, and
And
somebody will
somebody
go
will
after
just-
a knee.
Yeah,
Well, it'll be,
either
They'll
that
take
or
him
they'll
out.
target him.
they play
you know.
Buffalo twice a year,
Yeah.
every year, so they'll get him.
Whoa, wait, whoa.
Ty Cobb found it.
Yeah, I think he found it. All
Yeah,
right.
he did.
Sound and
Yeah.
all.
You know, one of these days we will link that stuff into our screen over here. So
That'd be awesome. We can send all of our Vandy stuff there.
Well, I think that's
But I'm like,
I
man,
think that's
why didn't
severe. I
somebody?
think
Yeah,
one
that's
of the
very that's very
big-
scary.
guys'
how big of a-
teammates
That's what I'm saying.
come over and take up for it. I mean,
What it is the NFL's got it to the point where that's everybody's money, and they're trying to protect their money, and they don't want to get fined.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's what going back to Taylor Lewan. If that would happen to one of his teammates,
He'd have been out there.
He'd
fighting.
been out there fighting.
Oh, yeah.
it would have been on.
He would have.
That see,
There ain't
football
no
guys
doubt.
like me love those old school guys.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't worried about his check. You know, there's certain rules you don't cross. You know,
You know.
you
Well, you look at the
Did
old.
they eject him out of this game? Did
No,
he they didn't
got a
eject him.
penalty.
he got a penalty. He got a 15-yard unsportsmanlike, but he did not
How
get
do you
ejected.
not throw him out of the
Be,
game?
be,
Because it's Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? or
yes. That's the reason.
Playing at home.
And they playing. No, he's playing in
they were
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were in Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, but somebody should have left some of his teeth somewhere.
what? I agree. Right there.
And
They
I think
put
it's
it
going.
there.
I think it's going to happen.
Oh yeah. Well, see, this is top thing may show up somewhere else too that we never
Yeah.
hear about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I'm not a
Like
person.
afterwards, outside the locker
Yeah,
room.
I'm not a person of violence.
It
but,
might be another Tanya Harding.
but when you do something that could take away somebody's livelihood,
Yeah,
that could
exactly.
have injured this guy. This
Well,
guy-
it did. It did. It put him. He's in concussion protocol now,
Yeah, he was hurt.
so he's taken out.
yeah, he.
What would you have done if they'd have done that to Bruno? You'd have probably been.
Even if I was in stands, I'd probably got arrested. I'd be sitting in jail somewhere going,
No,
"Oh
no, no,
Lord."
no. You don't understand something. It would not have been done to Bruno.
Well, I think Bruno could have handled himself.
I think
a
that's
little
what
I
I'm
agree.
saying.
I was just being
No,
being
no.
funny.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
but,
saying.
But
think,
if it was one of my
But
teammates,
Taylor
when I-
Lewan would have.
Yeah, that's
Albert
what you-
Hainsworth, somebody
oh,
like that.
Oh, Albert Hainsworth would have
Hainsworth
gone
would-
off.
He'd have been throwing everybody.
on his head a
The
couple times,
referees,
right?
everybody.
He started body slamming them all.
Exactly.
But a lot of that's Buffalo's fault. If Gronk knew that somebody was going to tear his rear up for that,
Oh,
he
yeah.
wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is chosen. It's chosen behavior.
Oh,
People
now
do
you're
what they
saying
do.
it's like wrestling. I'm sorry, wrestling.
Right? Yeah. Not
That's
like the
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
I don't
Vince
think that
McMahon
was,
is in the
I don't
entertainment
think
business.
that was entertainment.
No, that was intent.
That
he
was
tried to hurt
intent.
somebody.
He
Yeah.
was mad.
Yeah.
He should be gone for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
agree.
I was thinking when I just saw this 5 minutes. I said that's enough to put you out the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, they give Brady a what was it, 6-game suspension for airing the football, and you only,
Yep.
you know,
Exactly.
Shaq Mason's having a good year.
Shaq, I have voted a lot for Shaq to go Pro Bowl. So if you get an opportunity, there is a link on Facebook where you can go choose. It's like six different players for every position that's on there, and go to guard, and Shaq is on there. So I've chosen Shaq to go
Is
Pro
this
Bowl.
his third year?
Yes.
You know, that's a big year for an NFL
Yeah,
player.
because
Yeah.
this
you
is
get
his.
the retirement. You get
right.
which is big. You get those benefits the rest of your life. So
Right.
congratulations to him. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people think, well, you know, it's third year. A lot of people don't get that third year. Very few do.
Right.
Heather
after 30, you
Rabior,
get your
T.J. Brown,
retirement.
Benefits and
Cody
retirement.
Hamilton, Jonathan Essif, and Heather's daughter.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
Name escapes me. Bless her heart. They all went to see Shaq play on Sunday in Buffalo.
Oh man.
Yeah, so they got their picture taken afterwards. Gronkowski was nowhere to be found.
He was probably already at the club.
Right, exactly. Kelsey Rabior. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Kelsey.
Yeah,
that's
Kelsey.
it.
I can't even keep up with you guys,
And
much
you know
less
what's wild?
somebody else.
We haven't even got into what's the most exciting thing now going on. Is the SEC's about to dominate college football forever.
Oh,
well, hang on a
and
second.
Ohio State is crying.
I just happen to have something right here, boys.
I
and
think
girls.
Alabama's sitting pretty to win it all.
Here we go. If a debate, this is from CBSSports.com, which I must give them credit for this because 104.5 did not give credit to CBSSports.com, and somebody said about that today. Anyway, if a debate is measured by time, the college football playoff quandary of 2017 lasted only a few hours. Less than a day after Ohio State beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship, the playoff committee put one-loss Alabama into the bracket ahead of a 2-loss conference champion Ohio State, not to mention USC.
Yeah, Alabama would boat race both those teams. I saw Alabama up close.
They'll beat them both.
They'd beat Ohio
I
State
think
by 30 points.
Alabama's your next champion.
Was in the last 6 minutes here the Alabama loss to Auburn just an off day, a fluke?
Injuries.
Injuries.
Injuries on
Auburn
the
had-
Alabama side, and by the time they get to these playoffs, the players will have time to be healed up.
Their linebacker core is really
they're
injured.
expecting everybody back by
But
one
Auburn's
player.
had back
Yeah.
to back to back. I mean,
Committee Chairman Kirby Hocutt said that Alabama was clearly the number 4 team in the country as a non-champion.
I think Alabama opened at what, a 6.5 point favorite
Yeah.
And you got to
against the
remember,
number 1
can
team.
Alabama beat Georgia?
they set the precedence
Yes.
last
Yes.
year when they put
Yes.
Ohio State in instead of Penn State.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
so, you know,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Ohio State had no argument.
I actually know someone who's had experience against both Alabama and Georgia. So I'm not going to say who, but I can tell you what, in my discussions what I interpreted it to say. Alabama's got a heck of a lot more talent. Not a heck of a lot, but a lot more talent. But Georgia has a great scheme. And when you watch Georgia's scheme play, Georgia destroyed
Auburn.
Notre Dame and Auburn by scheme. You know, so that's what's going to be the key. Can that scheme? It basically is going to come down to this: can Georgia outcoach Alabama? Now, if Nick had Lane Kiffin as offensive coordinator, he wouldn't, but he would have won the national championship last year because Lane can put up some points.
But they said that his offensive coordinator now is just as smart, if not as crafty, as what Lane Kiffin was.
He's a really, really top of the line football coach. But in the game, play calling, and these are not some great people, but Bobby Petrino, Lane Kiffin can call a game better than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah,
They can just flat out call games.
And I'll even go back and add another name to it. Steve Spurrier was one of the best at improvising on the fly.
Absolutely. They can see the game better than a
Right. I mean, they've been known to draw the play up on the sideline.
Steve Spurrier once won a game by running the football because he knew that his left guard was better than the backup defensive tackle.
Wow.
And gave him an advantage on every play. So the whole game was built around attacking this defensive tackle. Now, he threw the ball in the flat stuff to spread them out, and then he'd run inside. But all the runs were at that. And he won a national championship doing it. That just something that simple.
Did you hear what he said about the Tennessee coaching search?
Oh, I know, but I'm sure I'll love to hear it.
Go ahead and hire T. Martin and give him some good help. Or hire the Leacher, and I might come as his offensive coordinator.
Spurrier said that.
Spurrier said that.
Well, they had that deal done there not long ago.
Yeah, but there again, we go back to the Tennessee faithful. How are they going to feel about a Spurrier coming to the University of Tennessee?
It won't be a Spurrier.
It wasn't going to happen.
He
No,
hates you.
I'm just
too.
saying.
But
He
you
hates
know,
you
you
too.
bring Mike Leach in there, they're a
Yeah.
threat offensively.
Right.
Now, Mike Leach is going to get up. He's going to walk to work. He's going to buy a house close to the stadium and practice. He's going to wear sandals. He's not going to stop and say hi to people. He's sort of different. And
Is that who we want?
I really don't care. But
Well, hey, Ty, obviously the building brick by brick didn't work out so well, now did it?
Well, they got
I-
to have some
Leach
mortar in
scares
there
you
with
more
it.
than
Leach,
I don't
gives
know
you an insta 6
that I ever
games.
thought
Right
it
now,
would.
they're going to have trouble getting to 6 games. Leach gets you to a bowl game next year.
You think so?
Leach would. Because he'll outscore enough. He'll win his 4 non-conference games because he'll buy out of anybody that's tough. Like, this is just Mike Leach play. So he's going to get 4. And he'll steal a couple games by scoring. You know, he'll score in it.
So he'll win 6 games.
He would win 6.
Kiffin would have won 6 too.
Any
Kiffin
coach,
probably win more.
any coach that comes into the University of Tennessee in the next several years is going to have to contend with Alabama. Now, Are you ever going to beat Alabama with a Tennessee or Vanderbilt or any of the, or are they just solidify?
Not with the way it's set up right now. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But here's I'm gonna give some love out to my Tennessee friends out there. I'm gonna give you some love.
Mark this on your calendar,
Yeah,
boys.
I'm
Make
giving
sure
you
this show is recorded.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some love. You've got to be on your best behavior. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bad name in the coaching field, so you got to behave well as a fan base. So don't be doing anything crazy on Twitter. People don't want to come and coach for you right now simply because of your administration and your behavior of your fan base. So that's hurting you. Right now, you're the worst team in the SEC. Okay?
That's
You're
fact.
number 14. Yeah.
That's fact.
And your talent level, Vanderbilt's better than you, and they beat you 4 out of the next 6 times. And there's going to beat you at least 2 more in a row. You're going to have to get talent up.
You were doing real good up until right there.
Yeah, here's the
And
thing.
you didn't show any love to the Tennessee fans.
I'm showing them some love. This is what you got to do, okay?
Okay.
First thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to get the best available coach. Don't care if you like coach. Never liked the coach I played for. But if he can win games for me, I'm good
You
with that.
respected that coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't care if you like it. Get the best coach right now. That's what you need to have to do. And then you're going to have to support that coach. Don't let your administration do something stupid. Okay?
We would support that coach if he wins.
Exactly.
Right.
But you got to understand who you are. You're not going to win the SEC East next year. Okay? Probably not in 3 years with the current talent level.
Right.
You're going to have some.
We got to be more than champions of life. Keep
Exactly.
talking.
Exactly. You got to take it in steps. Okay?
Baby
You won
steps.
four
Baby steps.
games this year.
Baby
Let's try to
steps.
get to a bowl game next year. And if you get to a bowl game, every one of you get out and buy a ticket and get down there and make it look crazy that you're supporting. That way kids want to play for you, and that coach feels more comfortable, and you build stability. The fan base is going to have to build a stability. Your administration is not. They're lost. Okay? They're bickering back and forth like little children in a sandbox. Sort of like what I would do. So you can't do that. You've got to support them. If you don't do this, you are where you will be in 5 years. And you'll be looking at Vanderbilt coming into Neyland, beating you 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and nobody's going to want to come to university. You're going to have all these beautiful facilities, and you can't recruit there.
So says the Michael Reagan.
Support your new coach.
There
But
you
when
go.
he's hired, support him.
Before we go off, shout out to Coach Rick Stockstill up at MTSU.
What an amazing thing. Yes.
He went out and bought $10,000 worth of tickets for the bowl game to give to the students.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely classy.
Yeah. Oh, he's a
All
class
class.
guy. He's a class
Yeah.
guy.
And they better support him.
Yeah.
You know, they better support
I
him.
think they support Coach Stock pretty well.
Yeah.
So.
Any parting closing thoughts, boys and girls? We got to get out of here and eat pizza from True Loves.
Oh, that sounds good. Hey, thank you for having me back.
Oh, yeah.
I know I picked a lot of Tennessee fans.
No.
I sort of feel sorry for them right now. Sort of. But truly, all you Tennessee fans, including Ty Cobb, when you get a new coach, support them. If you don't, then you're going to have to deal with people like me throwing the anchor down sign every time you drive by with your little orange sticker on your car, waving at you, not letting you merge.
Man,
Okay?
that's cold. That's cold, Ty.
I do want to say, I mean, as Mac Reagan, a father, congrats to his son because
Absolutely.
that's big stuff.
Yeah,
so
it is.
beat the Vols twice now. So
Yeah.
I mean that is something to be proud about. While I might be crying over here, I am happy for Mac inside. He's a good friend of mine and co-worker. We work together, but I am happy for him. But it sure does hurt to lose to Vanderbilt.
Eddie, anything?
No.
This time,
I better keep my mouth
Chip,
shut.
anything? Anything?
I said my shout out to Coach Stock.
Hey, this has been a great show, guys.
Yeah.
This has been a fun show. It really has.
It's always good to be back with you.
I love having you, man. You're
See
welcome anytime. You know that.
Yeah, we'll at least see you before we get this Mid-State Classic.
Oh, absolutely. We're having
We
a
got
good
to
time
come
with
in
that.
before the season this year so we can make some predictions and everything.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll do that. So for Eddie Bobo and Chip Matlock and Ty Cobb and Mac Reagan, I'm Dan James. You guys have a very pleasant good evening, everybody.